film sucks. Indie film sucks. It's the Indie Film Sucks podcast. Yeah.
Coming at you from the mean streets of St. Louis, from a basement on South Broadway, the Indie Film Sucks podcast. Because indie film is a great time every time.
Tonight is a great time.
It is.
Tonight is a good time.
If you're not awake, you are now from that intro.
Absolutely. Hey, my name's Mackie. We got Chris Gregas sitting here and Brock Roberts. Hey, this is the Indie Film Sucks podcast where we talk about the highs, the lows,
and the in-betweens.
Of real.
No.
True
independent filmmaking.
True independent filmmaking. Hey, tonight I'm super excited.
Why?
We got an awesome guest who has starred in things like, I'm going to look at it, Tennessee Gothic, In Memory of, what else we got here? We got Man in Room 6, Red Nighted Skies, and soon to be released Anxiety. We got the incredible, the queen of St. Louis horror, Jackie Kelley here tonight with us.
Hello.
Woo!
Thank you for having me, guys.
Yeah, so before we go into it, Jackie Kelley, we have to ask you the famous question, which I'm sure other people have answered, such as James Dean, which you said you just listened to his interview.
I did.
Jackie, what's your suck?
So, I thought long and hard about this, and I decided, because I'm primarily an actor, that's the bulk of what I do in independent filmmaking, and my suck is scheduling, I think. I've been doing this for about 10 years now, and I have still yet to figure out how to maintain my sanity while keeping my schedule together, because everyone wants to shoot everything at the same time. So you'll get all these offers for the month of September, and then you'll have nothing for 4 months. And then you get super depressed for 4 months because you've got nothing. And then you have too many things going on at once. And I just think, because I freelance full-time. I work as a performer. When I'm not doing indie film, I do various other live performance stuff. And it is an absolute nightmare trying to juggle all of the projects at once. So I think that's my suck. It would be really, really nice to have more of a work-life balance, and I feel like I just absolutely don't, at all.
Yeah, I get that in a lot of different businesses as far as acting goes, producing, regular life. It seems like everything gets piled on at once. It does not ever stretch throughout the 12 months of the year.
Right.
If you could just manage that bulk into 12 months, it'd probably be almost a regular life. Mm-hmm. But we chose something different.
Yeah, and I think about it a lot because acting it's not a poor man's game. If you get into acting and you don't come from money, good luck. Mm-hmm. Because, sometimes I'm like, how the hell am I supposed to make a living at this? Mm-hmm. When sometimes people don't give you your shooting schedule or your flight until a week before you're there. And you're just like, how am I supposed to work around this and book the jobs? And so it's if you don't come from money or have a trust fund or something like that, it's challenging, to say the least.
And I'm gonna let you in on a little secret about filmmakers. Most filmmakers are assholes, because filmmakers.
Is this a secret?
It's not really a secret.
I don't think we're letting anything out of the bag here, folks.
Meaning we're always thinking about our project, our film, our next film, and that is the most important thing in the world to us.
That's fair.
But other people have lives, have schedules, have whatever they have, and there's no real way around that. Mm-hmm. And you're right, if you don't have money to back it up, doing what you're doing is not easy. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times it's not fun. Mm-hmm. That's what people. I ran into this, and I've still run into this a lot. When you say, "Oh, you make movies? That must be so much fun," and I'm like, "Yeah, no." And I've said this before. 95% of it is really just dog shit. 95% of filmmaking is really just terrible shit like that. But the 5% that is not is so awesome. it makes it worth doing all the other shit.
Keeps you coming back.
Keeps you coming back.
Yeah.
It outweighs it, right?
Yeah.
And so why do you think, Jackie, why do you think everybody schedules everything in that? Is there something with independent films that's, or is
It's
it the
either
genre,
that or it's my curse. Well, a lot of it might be genre too, because
Yeah.
I do find a lot of horror films shoot in the fall.
And everybody likes that
Yes,
atmosphere of
yes,
what's going
that
on, the weather
Halloween
changing.
vibe.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, but sometimes it just feels like everything goes on at once, and then you have like nothing, and that's when you go into panic mode,
Yeah.
right? And you're like, oh, this is it. I was climbing and climbing and climbing, and then it was bound to happen eventually, and then
Nothing.
Yes, and then eventually it picks back up, and then you have too much going on, and then the loop continues
And I would
until you die.
No, until you die. You're too young to die. Kidding me. You got plenty of time left. So I think with you, Greg, what you said about that is because I think a lot of independent filmmakers they run so lean that they don't have a supporting like team around them, and they're doing everything. Because I know for a long time you had to do a lot of stuff, and I don't know if a lot of the sets you work on, Jackie, small independent film, maybe they don't have
Yeah.
a big production team.
Oh, yeah.
And they're trying to probably get the location that you may go to fly to.
Right.
The same day they're trying to probably book your flight.
Right.
So if you
Right.
can't get the location, guess what?
Right.
You're not getting
Yeah,
a flight.
there's just so many moving parts. That's why, I get it. Like, I totally get it.
Yeah.
But it makes it so challenging to book the work around that when you're like, I might go to film something this month, but who knows when.
And then you
So,
can't tell
I get
somebody
it,
else
though.
yes or no.
Right.
Because you've already
Right.
committed to somebody,
Right.
right? Oh, man. What a
Yeah,
tough
I mean,
life.
because I've done the whole freelance thing too,
Yeah.
and it's like if I take job A, that means I have to turn down job B. But then if something happens to job A,
Yes.
the job B's gone, then you
Yes.
have nothing.
Yes.
There is no job C.
Right,
you're
because they
fucked.
gave job B to someone else
Yes.
when you turned it down.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, that's
You get it.
yeah.
So the good thing you are working, and I want to get into a little bit about your how you got into it. But
Sure.
I got a quote from you
Uh-oh.
from one of the many sites that you're out on. It says, "I have no formal training as an actress, and therefore I feel like I'm kind of just winging it most of the time or all the time." So is that true? Is that how you really feel? I got that quote from one of your picture.
Oh,
that it was
yeah.
a quote by. Do you remember saying that?
I don't remember saying it, but
Oh.
it sounds like something I would say.
Okay. So no formal training yet. You're
No,
working in a ton. You're
went
you're very
to-
sought after, I think, in our indie film world.
I went to film school, and I ultimately studied screenwriting. I didn't even study film production, so I have a writing degree, but I don't have any formal training as an actor now. So yeah, I'm just making it up. Yeah, trying to figure it out.
Well, I think
Having fun.
I think that's awesome because you get into, say, a theater group or people who that was their life as a teenager or a child, and they've been on, gosh, all kinds of productions as far as even theater. Mm-hmm. And we've talked about this before. There's almost a stigma from theater to film.
Oh, absolutely.
And it seems like the theater people they're really cool, they're into it real quick, but man,
Thanks.
they only talk about theater and training, and outside that they don't have anything else really to offer besides the training. They forget about the real life. Mm-hmm. And I think then taking from yourself and your own experiences, putting it into it, I think it's more interesting.
Yeah, I mean that's what we all try to do, I think, as artists, and it's that way with writing too. Granted, I have done theater. I'm not an anti-theater person, but film's so much better. Film is forever.
I prefer it for sure.
Yeah, and I think there's an added challenge, and there's challenges to both. In terms of script memorization, theater is you got to know that whole damn thing, but the art of subtlety is a difficult one to master, and that's something that film screen acting is.
That's right. You can't get it in theater
Yeah, exactly.
too often. I should
Yeah.
say.
Well, yeah, because early on, and I've done theater later in life, but like I was not a theater kid. I was a troublemaker in high school. I mean,
I was both.
I-
A theater kid and a troublemaker.
I was a
in high school.
dropout, basically. But I had very negative experiences with theater. And it wasn't because of theater itself. It was because of the theater people. They were theater people.
Yeah.
And I just met a lot of just assholes. Just
Yeah.
really uncool assholes. I thought, wow, these people really suck. And this does not appeal to me at all. And the people I met like he passed away before you got the chance to meet him, but you know who I'm going to say is Tom Biondo. He was a film guy. Stanzi was a film guy. That's what made me become a film guy, because it was just, I mean, yeah, theater is fun in a certain way, but man, I've said this so many times, making independent film is like the Peace Corps. It's the toughest job you'll ever love. And either you have it in you to do it or you don't. Because theater, it's work, but it's also kind of a safe, friendly, welcoming environment for theater people. And it's kind of like the same space you go to week after week, and you kind of do the same thing. Film is like, it's just like going to fucking war, and you never know what's going to happen. And it's like, you know, you get to base camp, and all of a sudden base camp is blown up, and you have to reconstruct it out of what's left over. And either you get that and understand that and love that, or you want no part of it.
Yeah. I mean, they're just two completely different types of people that are drawn to each, especially when you look at the acting side of it. It's actually crazy how much different theater actors are from film actors. You think they're both actors. How different could they be? It's a different world in the theater.
I agree. Yeah. Even the business of it is different.
Sure.
Like, indie film does suck. That 5% Greg was talking about is pretty damn awesome, you know. I think it's probably a little bit more than 5 for myself, but
I think it's more like 3 for me.
but theater, I think they have a tougher road, because it isn't forever. It's for that one moment, which is kind of cool in itself. But you know, those theater actors, it's hard for them to make a living at it too, and they're they're doing rehearsals for 4, 6, 8 weeks after their regular job or school, whatever it is. Then
we just show up. We don't rehearse
Right.
shit. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what I like about it. I really do.
Yeah.
About film, anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think it's pretty cool.
Okay, so no training, little film school, right?
No, I have a degree in screenwriting,
Okay.
and I've actually never taken an acting class. I've done theater. I did, community theater and whatnot.
So when did you know this was going to be your passion? So I read
Acting
something.
or
Yeah, just it says you didn't get into your first movie till you're 21. I think is what I read. Is that true? Is that close?
I mean, I did a lot of student films before that, and
Okay.
I had directed a couple short films that I also starred in prior to that. But I don't know. I knew that I wanted to work in film in some capacity when I was around 14 or 15 years old, but I didn't want to be an actor. I didn't mean for this to happen. I don't know what happened. My life got out of control, and now I'm here. No, it's great. I love acting, but it was never the end goal. Writing and directing has always been the end goal, and then life never turns out the way that you expect it to. And then we shot, me and Eric shot In Memory Of back in 2015, and then I just started getting work, and it turned into something, which is great. I'm not mad about it.
That's good.
So you still writing and doing that part of that passion?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, I am.
So anything on the horizon that you're producing or working on that you're not acting in?
Yeah, well, both. I'm actually in the process. I'm in pre-production for my first feature film as a writer-director. We are shooting that in October.
Nice.
So it's
Of this year? Of this year?
hell yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we're like 4 months out. So yeah, I've directed short films, but it's a whole different animal when it's a feature. There's, as you all know, there's a million moving parts, and at this budget level, there's not a whole lot of hands.
Right.
So we're figuring it out as we go. I've already learned so much, and I've already made so many mistakes. So many.
That's
Some of the locations that I wrote in, I'm like beating my head with a shoe. Like, why did I write in this location? Idiot. Like, it's driving me crazy, but...
No, we talk about that all the time about you have to make those mistakes though, right? Because usually as an actor, you come on, it's already set for you, right? Go where you're supposed to go, do what you're supposed to do. Just be prepared for what they
know
told
your
you.
lines.
Exactly, and perform.
Right.
But we talk about that all the time from our side, production side, writer, and Brock's wearing a lot of hats over there for us. Yeah, you don't know what you're doing, so a lot of times... With the experience that you've gotten, you maybe write to the script, you write to the budget level, you write to those things.
That's something I could have done a lot better on.
But
now I know.
No, you'll make it work. You've
Now
grinded
I
through
know.
1,000 things,
Yeah.
so you'll make it work for
Yeah.
sure.
Have you reached a point where you think, man, do I really even want to do this?
We're too deep, man. We've spent too much money already. It's
Doubling down.
happening.
In pre-production?
Yeah, we've already spent a lot of money with our effects artist has already started making a ton of stuff for us. I've bought a ton of props, a ton of wardrobe. We're simply too deep now to turn back.
Costs more to close it out than it would to keep going?
That's how I justify keeping going. Because I always reach a point like, man, I absolutely cannot continue and do this.
Right.
But I purposefully put everything out there so I'll look like a complete asshole if I don't. So that's what forces me. Because every movie I've been like, I can't do this. Even my first short, I'm like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
But I just set myself up so I will look like a complete pile of shit if I don't. So I'm like forced to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the cool thing with your background, being so embedded in the horror industry, especially in the Midwest, I know you travel everywhere, but you probably have some pretty decent connections to help you out on that.
Yeah, I mean, the team that I've got on this, including Eric Stanzi, it's like, honestly, it's one of those things I couldn't do it by myself. I've had so much help from other people that have so much more experience with this kind of stuff than I do. So I do consider myself very lucky, and it's a much easier go given the crew that I've already assembled.
Can you talk about the basic premise at all?
Yeah, it's called Hag, and I would call it a art house horror character piece. It's a woman spiraling into insanity film about a washed-up prostitute who is afraid of getting old, in a nutshell. But it's very much inspired by movies like Repulsion or Black Swan. Just like women going crazy.
So you're starring in it as well?
Yes.
Well,
wow.
Who else has she got to put in her movie?
Well, I mean, that's a
I
lot
can't
of hats,
afford
though.
to hire another
An
actor
actress.
for 20 days.
Yeah, exactly.
So.
So you have to kind of deal with that yourself.
Right.
So are you more nervous about your writing turning into what you thought your vision was? Because that's a huge step.
Yeah, I mean, I've been chipping away at the script for a year and a half now, so I feel pretty good about it. It's just I've just never had this experience before. So I'm looking at it like, I hope that I love this experience. I hope that after this I look forward to directing my next film. If not, if I decide I am never doing this again, that's cool too. Because I'm just afraid. Because, again, directing has always been the ultimate goal for me. I'm horrified of, like, I don't know, getting hit by a bus in, like, 3 years and being like, damn, I never made the movie.
Sure.
So I have to do it.
Good for you. That's
We'll see what happens.
No,
we'll
you're
see if
doing
I
it. No,
survive.
not what
Yeah.
happens. What's going to happen, right?
That's what it takes. It takes going, fuck it.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going to do this, hell or high water, because what happens if you don't have it tomorrow?
Right.
You know, get the shit you want to do and do it.
Right.
Go for it. There's so many people out there that don't fucking do it.
Right.
They just decide it's too hard for them, or they don't want to do it. It's too much of a risk. Then they're fucking they turn into shitty people because they never reach for their dreams, or they shit on people that do.
Mm-hmm.
So, after In Memory Of, right? When's the first time somebody calls you and said, "Hey, Jackie, I saw you in this, and will you be good for this one?" Where you kind of got outside of Eric and that kind of, and then I wouldn't even call that a safe bubble because you were still kind of putting it out there as an actor, doing that. But
after we shot In Memory Of, so we actually met Jeff Wedding on In Memory Of. He worked for like 4 days as an AD on that film. And then I did Tennessee Gothic with him from that, because I met him on that film. And Tennessee Gothic is probably the film, actually, that's gotten me the most jobs over the years.
Yeah,
when
it was
people
award-winning
reach out,
for sure.
Yeah, when people reach out and they're like, "Hey, I saw you in this. Would you come out here to shoot this?" It's normally Tennessee Gothic. So, yeah, I mean, off the top of my head, I'm trying to think of what
because
movies,
you went because I remember seeing Tennessee Gothic, which wasn't but a couple years ago, really.
I mean, we shot it a long time ago. The post took a long time because it was shot on 16 millimeter, and I know that we were in a line at the film developing lab.
Exposing.
Yes, we were on a waiting list, and so it took a long time before they'd even gotten the film back. So it was a pretty long process.
Gotcha.
We shot that in 2016. So it was a while ago.
Yeah, because I was trying to
I think
close
it came
the timeline,
out,
but...
It came out in 2019.
Okay.
So
2019.
Isn't it funny how we've spoke with other guests and how if you do something well enough, you keep getting the calls. So the way you get noticed is just being undeniably good at something, and you keep getting the jobs. That looks like that's a path you put yourself on, but for being undeniably good at something. So I think that's pretty cool. That's how you keep getting the work.
I don't know. I think I just put up with a lot. I don't know, guys.
No, it's your work. It's the work you put into it.
I appreciate that.
Well, I think it's your work, but plus you're prepared when you get on set. I mean, we've worked with you before, right?
Yeah.
For Red Night, and that's why I was a little confused because we were looking at Jeff Wedding to do Red Night for us as an editor, and his last one was, I think, Tennessee Gothic.
Right.
So, but I didn't know it was 2016, so that kind of closed that timeline for me.
Yeah, we
because,
shot that.
man,
It's been a while.
3 years for.
Yeah, it was a long post-production process.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I got to say, it's not just talent, because I've met some really talented people that I would not work with again.
Oh, sure, you have that aspect of business too. Sure.
I guess it's basically attitude. It's a can-do attitude. You're a person. You remind me of Steve Heffernan. I don't know if you ever met him.
I did not. I'm familiar with the name, but no, I have not.
But Steve was the kind of actor that no matter what you threw at him, he's like, yeah, sure, whatever, I'll do it. And I don't mean something ridiculous and stupid and dangerous, but I mean, you want me to lay on the floor for 4 hours? No problem. That's not a big deal. And, there are some people who can't do the smallest thing without complaining.
Yeah.
I've seen you do all sorts of crazy shit without complaining, and happy to do it.
Masochism is my hidden talent. So,
I remember one of the scenes in Red Night. I know we'll talk about Red Night later, but you're on the cold concrete. And I was like, hey, there's a mat you can actually lay on. And you're like, nope, I'm good. I said, okay, and there it goes.
You gotta suffer, man.
I've been trying to tell her, and I said, but that's when I realized you have to feel that. That's what you want to feel that for you and your character.
Yeah.
So I was like, leave her alone, let her do her thing.
Yes. So you're out there doing it in indie world a lot. So where do you put like the indie scene right now? You hear a lot about this and this, and we see it from the producer side or the trying to get your movie out there side of things. Where do you see it from an actor side of things? Do you think it's healthy? You think it's going in the right direction?
Man, it's always changing.
Yeah.
It's always changing. I can mostly speak for the horror side of things because that's the bulk of what I do. Horror and like subversive stuff. When I first started doing it, there was a lot more like art house, extreme type stuff, which was kind of cool. Right now, it's a lot of 80s and 90s throwback horror.
That's when horror was freaking awesome.
The 80s.
Yeah.
I don't know about the 90s.
Oh, okay, no, yes, it is. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, they're fun movies. There's a lot of really fun movies from the 80s.
Yeah.
I would love to see it. I would love to see more art house filmmaking on the low budget indie level, for sure, because I don't see a whole lot of that right now, and that's the kind of stuff that really excites me. So,
Are you seeing your projects released as far as like, are they getting out there? Do you see the exposure from it?
Some
Or
of
are you
them.
just kind of
Some of them.
that's still
Yeah.
typical of the indie world, but.
yeah, I mean, it's a roll of the dice. Sometimes, I mean, from my perspective, because most of these I'm just acting.
Yeah,
in,
that's
so
I want
don't,
that perspective.
Right,
Sure.
I don't have that much control over what happens after I get off set, but some of them really surprise you, and they get pushed out there, and people see them, and people reach out about them, and then other projects you work so hard on, and then nothing happens with it, and you're like, damn, I thought that was gonna be the one, but you just keep
Right, you're
doing
hired.
the work.
Yeah.
You just keep doing the work and hope that it connects to someone, gets you the next job.
So it's interesting to see, that is there that health as far as the roles are still coming?
Yeah, the roles are still coming. I definitely still feel busy.
Busier? Would you say busier? Like more people are getting into it?
Other actors?
Not actors necessarily, but producers, companies.
I think with every year that passes, more people get into indie film. It's so much more accessible than it's ever been before. And then a lot of people will drop off after a couple of years because it's fucking hard. It's hard and it's expensive, and there's not a lot of glory in it, as you all know.
Or money these days.
Or money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I know.
I think that's the plus to being an actor, because no matter what happens, people are going to make independent film.
Right.
That's never going to stop. But with that being said, there's always going to be a place for actors in independent film.
Right.
On the other side of the coin, the people producing the films, that gets more and more difficult because so many people are making films. So all the actor has to worry about, okay, I got my part, maybe I got a little bit of money for my part, and then I move on to the next one. They don't have to worry about going back and now how do I sell this fucker?
Yeah.
How do I push this? How do I get this out there to get a return on the investment and make another one? That's the plus side of just being an actor.
Well, you know what's annoying about it, though? That people that don't work in the industry in any capacity, they don't understand that when I leave set on my last day, I have no idea what's going on with the film after that. No idea. And every day, people are like, when's this movie coming out? When's it, what's going on? I'm like, your guess is as good as mine.
It's the
I
same
have no idea.
It's the same on production end too.
Yeah.
I get asked that a couple times a week.
Yeah.
Every week.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But I appreciate that perspective.
Yeah.
So does that bother you? I mean, I get it. You're working and you're making money and you're trying to sustain yourself, but there's got to be some sense of, man, that was a kick. I see a couple in here, these unfinished projects are in the works. And I'm like, man, I know the dude who did that. I was the one you did in the car, in the wood. I don't know.
Yeah, Mundo.
Yeah, exactly.
You had him on here, right?
Yes. Yeah, he's a friend of the show for sure.
Yeah.
But, man, that's one. Reaper Road. Thank you. I'm like, when's that one? Looking through here going, I forgot about that one.
Your guess is as good as mine.
I literally saw a post on Facebook, I think earlier today, someone was asking Jason Christ, when's Anxiety coming out? Dude, it's not even shot yet.
Yeah, right.
And you get that all the time. When can I see it? Well, you've had 25 chances to see it already when it's screened.
Right.
However, people, they don't get that. They think it's like, press a button and a movie comes out the other end. It
just exists, yeah.
Yeah, couldn't be further
but
from
what
that.
percent of that in you, right, is you want to see those finished products, right? I mean, is it
Depends on the project,
Is
man.
it still gonna?
I don't like watching my stuff.
You don't?
I don't at all. I really don't like watching my stuff. Everything I've done, I'll watch it once because I'll force myself to.
Okay.
Because I just find, like, every scene, there's something I do that I'm like, why? Why did I do that? So, I'm more interested in the projects coming out because they'll help me get more jobs because I just really enjoy being on set. I hate watching me in movies.
Okay. So it's more of
it's very uncomfortable for me. Yeah.
Honestly, I learned what
it's
not to do by watching myself. Because I'm not a fan of watching it.
Yeah.
But I learned a lot what not to do.
Sure.
Like just even
Stuff that you wouldn't
gestures.
notice when you were in the moment.
right.
Yeah.
I hear that from actors all the time. Like, I hate watching myself.
I think some of them are lying, but
I don't know, man. I
honestly don't
have
like it.
legit heard that a lot.
I don't mind watching myself. I really don't.
I love watching you, man.
Thanks, buddy. Yeah, but I came from the stage, so
True.
That's a little different from that side of things. So I'm still learning how to be a movie actor. So we're trying.
It's a different game.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a way different game. It's a way different game, but it is a lot more fun. It is. It's a lot more fun. So let's talk about some of the stuff that's coming up for you. What I saw that you just got cast in
The Western.
Down the Long River.
Yeah, I'm doing a Western.
Yeah,
guys.
what's that about?
It's a Western.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Is that
I'm like a in a gang of outlaws.
Your character's name is
Yeah.
Tall something, right?
Tall Mary.
And how tall is Mary supposed to be?
I'm assuming they're making fun of
Young
me.
Lords, maybe?
But no, it should be really cool. I know some of the guys that are attached to it. Kurt Aubuchon
Yeah.
and Harry Colmer.
saw James
MG
Dean.
Connect is going to be in it, and he's going to be in my film later in the year,
Okay.
as well as Tanner Guerin, who's another actor in it. So there's some familiar faces there for sure. I've never done a Western, so it'll be a unique experience.
Where's that being shot at?
I don't have exact locations yet, but it'll be all around St. Louis.
Okay,
Yeah,
St.
it's all
Louis
being
area.
shot locally.
Nice. Yeah, I saw James Dean was brought on that as a
Yeah,
producer.
yeah.
Hey, if anybody goes out there, if you're listening, go out and check out the Indiegogo that's going on now.
It's called Down the Long River.
Down the Long River. Yeah, definitely check it out. So we'll look for that coming out as well.
Yes.
And then I noticed that you have something coming out where you got pre-sales for DVDs. What is that?
That's Anxiety.
Anxiety.
Yeah, so we'll be pushing the Blu-ray, available on Blu-ray and streaming. We don't have a specific date for that yet, but it will be 2024. And that's just kind of like a surrealist.
And that was a pandemic film, right?
Yeah, talk about that.
Yeah, we shot it. I mean, a lot of it was shot, a lot of it was picked up post-pandemic, but we started shooting it just in our apartment during the pandemic because we both freelance and all of our jobs went bye-bye as soon as the lockdown started. So we're like, we got time.
That's Eric's film, right?
Yeah, yeah. So it's a weird one.
So is it just you, single, or is it you and Eric?
There's a couple of other actors that got brought in onto it, but most of it is me. Jason Christ is in it as well.
Gus Stevenson.
Gus Stevenson.
Of course,
is
yeah.
in
That was an easy one to bring him over.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Gus Stevenson helped out a lot on that one, both in front of the camera and behind the scenes.
He just lives downstairs. You just bang on the floor. Gus, get up here.
Yeah, it's awesome.
He's a talented dude. Man.
Oh,
he
really
is.
is.
The greatest. Yeah, we love Gus Stevenson.
So how long do you usually get to prepare for those roles? Like Man in Room 6, looked like a tough role, right?
I mean, we shot that over 3 years, so I had plenty of time to learn my lines.
Not even lines, though, but just the character. Because a lot of it's not lines, right?
How many characters?
There's three characters in that. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't that in terms of preparation. That one wasn't that challenging because it was so spread out. We shot it over the course of 3 years, and so it really felt like every character we're shooting a different movie. It wasn't hard to.
Your characters seemed that far apart too.
Yeah,
which is what you wanted.
Yeah, for sure.
And you went through some physical changes in The Man in Room 6.
Yeah, I did. Mm-hmm. Yeah, not all of them were intentional, but yeah, it's kind of a cool movie in that way because my appearance just shifts so wildly throughout. So it does make it feel like I'm playing these entirely different characters. It's neat.
So how is it shooting it over 3 years? Because obviously sometimes films aren't shot in chronological order.
Right.
So how did they pull that off with doing it? Was it shot like that? Where they purposely had you in the same character the whole time they were shooting?
No, we bounced around. The stuff with the mermaid, that was pretty brief, so we shot all of that stuff together. And I guess the stuff with the flashback stuff was all shot at once too. Mm-hmm. It's the wraparound that took most of the time because that's the character I play for most of it. But the other stuff, we shot it pretty separate from the wraparound. Yeah. I don't know where I was going with that.
No, that's okay.
Was it on purpose?
No, I don't think so. It's an independent film, and you shoot it when the money comes in. There just wasn't, and it's a 2.5 hour movie. That script, when I think it was something like 180 or 190 pages.
Really?
We had a lot of stuff to shoot.
It's a journey.
Really long.
Yeah, it is.
It's really long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm proud of that film though. I like that film.
Should be.
Yeah.
Do you prep at all? You don't wing it all the time. You can't be that. Just come
No,
on.
I don't mean
give
that.
us something. What's Jackie Kelley do to get into a
know.
role like
I
that?
don't
To
know.
stay in character. To stay.
I make playlists. I make playlists of music that I think that the character would listen to, and it's not something that I spend a lot of time with, but just when I'm driving around, I'd say that's the main thing I do in preparation is I try to figure out what the character would listen to.
Yeah.
So,
are you method or are you?
No, I'm not method at all. That sounds emotionally exhausting to be method.
I would agree. You play some very emotionally tough characters.
Yeah. I mean, I'm always screaming and crying and killing and stuff. I don't want to be too method.
Yeah, she'd probably be in prison.
Yeah.
No. It comes off on screen.
I'd be a menace to society.
But it comes off on screen as if you put a lot of, and you do put a lot of prep and work. That's not what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
But it does seem like that they're emotionally draining, that staying in that moment a lot.
Yeah.
It does look a little method.
Yeah.
You would know because you don't watch yourself, but I'm telling you, I've seen you.
Right. I just when I don't have to stay there all day. I've worked with actors that they stay there all day. Whatever the emotion is they're portraying, they're there for 12 hours.
I can't do that. It drains too draining.
No.
Well,
And I like having fun on set.
Yeah.
I like enjoying, the people there and making friends with people.
I mean, that's a good point you bring up. I haven't worked with very many method actors, but yes, indie film sucks. That's the name of the podcast. And everyone who works in indie film knows what that means, right? There's many crappy things about independent film. And it's very hard, difficult, draining, stressful work. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, it's a lot of fun on set.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I have very rarely have I been on a set where I wasn't having a degree of fun.
Right.
It's just because you're with almost exclusively like-minded people, and once you really get into the production, that's when sort of the in jokes happen, and that's when everyone kind of knows each other, and you really become a family, and that's always the saddest thing is like right when the film wraps production, that's when everything is just hitting on all cylinders. It's like, man, we're just a well-oiled machine, and then it's over. It's like, God damn, that sucks.
Yeah, I mean, it is my favorite thing about making movies, though. I've met all of my favorite humans in the world. I've met making movies. But that being said, all of my least favorite humans I've also met making movies.
Takes all kinds of this baby.
That's fun. We're just not doing movies with them again.
Right. Yeah, we just don't talk to them anymore. But yeah, I mean, I love the family element of making films because there are sets I've been on where I've been there for 2 weeks, and by the end of 2 weeks, these people where I had just met them for the first time on that shoot, I feel like I've known them for 10 years by the end of it.
Especially as an actor, you have a lot of downtime.
Oh, yeah.
So you really get to know people.
Yeah.
As part of the production crew, like as a director, there's like no downtime.
Right.
It's like you get to set at 6 a.m. and all of a sudden it's 8 p.m.
Right.
You're like, fuck, well that 5 minutes went really quick. Mm-hmm. Whereas other people have been sitting around, bored for many, many hours. You're like, man, we never have enough time. But yeah, it's incomparable to anything else I've ever done in my life, filmmaking.
Yeah, I would agree. I can't match that.
Yeah, and you're stuck with scheduling and trying to schedule actors to come in at certain times because we think they're going to shoot, like the set's going to be ready and dressed and ready to go by say 9 o'clock, and we want to get the actors there by 7:30 or whatever. But okay, we really can't get our first shot off till 10 or 11 or sometimes 12, and the actors get there. Okay, where do I go? Where do I stand? Is this good? Yeah, there's a lot of downtime for acting a lot.
If my call time is 8 a.m. and I start working by even 10 a.m., I'm shocked.
Impressed, yeah.
Yes.
Feel like good. They
Yes,
manage
they've
their
got
time
it together.
pretty well.
Yeah, no, I fully expect to just be sitting around for a while. It's part of the gig.
Yeah,
It doesn't
and
bother me.
I wish more actors understood that.
Yeah.
I guess they learn it pretty quick, or
Yeah.
they don't. They get the hell out of it. But
Well, that's the difference between theater and film actors, because theater actors don't understand that.
The downtime.
Because in the theater, you don't have to worry about, setting the camera, setting the lights, and the sound, and all this other horse shit. You're pretty
There's
much...
a couple tough days on tech, right?
Yeah, no, I'm not saying as a dig on theater people. I'm saying that
it's a different world.
you show up and you're pretty much ready to get rolling.
And once you get the cue set, it changes, and everything is the same thing every single night.
So what's the longest you've waited around without doing anything on a set, do you think?
Oh, I've waited all day and not shot a single frame before.
That just happens, right?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it happens often, but yeah, I've definitely been called to set, and then the whole day passes, and the producer comes up to you and is like, "Don't kill me," but you're going home.
I was on a set once, and the director left without telling the actors
What?
they were done. And
You've told this story before.
Under
There's a new one.
circumstance.
I know exactly. They're all day, maybe shot half of a scene, and then you're ready, and nothing happens. And 6 hours go by, 7 hours go by. Got a pillow, and I hear the director yelling to the producer, the camera guy, "I'm gonna go home and get some sleep here. I'll see you guys tomorrow." I looked at this other actor, said, "The fucking director just leave? I got my shit. I left too. I wasn't gonna put up with that." But that's very few and far between.
Weird.
So, what are you going to try to do different when you're in charge? right? Writer, director. You know, probably Eric gonna shoot it.
Yeah, Eric's gonna shoot it.
So you got a solid crew around, right? But you're also starring in it, so you got that to go. Well, what would you do or what advice could you give people?
Well, a big one is we really want to have that schedule locked as far out as we can. That's something that's important to me personally. And I don't mean like it needs to be locked 6 months out, but give people time to call off of work or whatever else they're doing. You know, just so people aren't losing money working on the film. My brother is a cinematographer up in Chicago, and he directed his first short film last September, and I was in his first short film. And something that struck me on that set was how much gratitude he had for the whole crew. He did such a good job at making everyone feel appreciated, and everyone ended up having a really, really fun time.
Good. That's
on
a
that
big deal.
set. And that's something that's kind of important for me, because I've been on... It's not kind of, it's very important for me. I've been on sets that I've, like, had a really, really bad time on for, like, the whole run of it. And then I've been on sets they were the best time of my life. And I just want everyone to have a good time, you know? I want the movie to be awesome, too. But, like, I want everyone that works on the film to be able to look at it like, oh, I'm glad I did that. I know that sounds like super cheesy.
No,
I want everyone to have fun.
That's up there for me.
It's hard.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
Everybody
we don't
knows
have
it's
a lot of
hard.
money for people.
Exactly.
It's like we can pay people, but it's not what they're worth. You know, they're more talented than what we can offer them, and so
I understand that. We were in the same boat.
yeah. And if you can't offer people great money, like I want them to at least be like, that film was a lot of fun to work on. You know, I'm glad I did that.
Yeah, felt appreciated, right? You felt part of the
Right.
project, that
Right.
kind of stuff. No,
Right.
I think that's important. So hopefully people listening will get that out of there, because I think that's important coming from an actor who's now turning to, and saying, hey, this is what I'm going to try to do because this is what I felt the best when I was an actor on a set, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah.
So you said a 20-day shoot, right?
20 days.
Is it consecutive 20 days?
It's 4 weeks with weekends. Well, weekends. I think we're shooting Wednesdays through Sundays with Monday and Tuesday off, but
Okay.
4 weeks straight. Yeah,
get
the
those
whole
weekends
month
in.
of
Yep.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've done shoots where it is just like a consecutive 2 weeks with or 3 weeks with no days off, and
Phew.
it's a lot. So we have days off, which is cool.
Yeah, because like I said earlier, people think that making movies, it's fun. It's a fun time, but it's a job.
It's a job,
It's
and
a
sometimes
hard
you're on
job.
set for 18 hours.
yeah.
Hopefully you're not on set for 18
Yeah.
hours, but
It happens.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
What is the longest you've shot consecutive for?
24 hours.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what was the call the next day off, or?
Oh yeah, we
Back-
didn't
back-
shoot. We didn't
oh.
work the next day, so that was.
Because that's a call somebody's got to make too. Because
Yeah.
right?
No, we only had the other actor for like a 48-hour period,
Get
so
that.
we just had to get everything before he had to get back on a plane to go to LA. So that's the longest.
I think the longest we ever did was 23 hours consecutive, and that was on Sound of Nothing, and because the actor had to leave to go to Europe or something.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like, we gotta.
Get it
Get
done.
it
We gotta
till
get
it's-
it
yeah,
done.
Get
Yeah.
it till it's done, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. That's awesome. Well, we appreciate you being in Red Knight. So thank you.
appreciate you having
Thank
me
you.
on Red Night.
I hope some of the experience you were talking about, how you got, we gave that to you on
Oh,
our
absolutely,
sets.
absolutely.
What was something about Red Knight? Did it challenge you a little bit? If you don't mind talking about your experience on that.
Yeah, I mean it's a different movie that I'm used to doing. It's a little bit more action centric than the kind of stuff I do. Normally I do more straightforward horror or like weirdo art housey stuff, and this was definitely heavier on the action. Yeah, it was fun though. It was a lot of fun. That location which we shot at was like really cool, and it looks awesome in the movie. That basement of
Yeah.
the pawn shop
Oh.
looks so great.
Oh, the pawn shop. Yeah.
yeah, the cast does
What was
a really
that?
good
What was
job.
that?
Randall Gallery.
Randall
Yeah.
Gallery. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
no, it was really cool.
Yeah, and I thought the way Jeff cut that together put more of the horror aspect into it than you would have
Oh yeah, there's
thought.
definitely elements of horror for sure. I would label that as one of the genres certainly, but it definitely has like a more macho action slant to it, for lack of a better word. You know, I mean, you've got the whole like military slant to it. You know, tough dudes, and then a a tough chick, right?
Yeah, you were the toughest one out of all of us.
Yeah. Just like in real life.
Yeah, you're not gonna argue that either.
Well, I wouldn't either. That's it next door.
When I was writing the script, you're one of a handful of people that I mentally wrote the parts for. It was you, Brock, Scott Michael Dunn, who played Kyle, and Joe Hammerstone.
Okay.
Your brother in the movie.
My brother.
Yeah.
Yep.
Had you ever worked with Joe before in anything? Because he's
I don't think I had. That might have been the first. It might be the only thing I've ever done with.
Really?
because he's in so much
He's
stuff
in
too.
everything.
Yeah.
He is in everything. It's like you're in
and
everything, he's in everything, but
it's
yet.
shocking that our paths, I don't think, had ever crossed.
Well, he was an
prior to
asshole
that.
brother. Just saying.
That's
in the
true.
movie, he
That's
wasn't
true.
like the nurturing type of good.
No, I'm
No.
the drug addict, so
Hopefully your actual brother's better than.
he is.
Better
Yeah,
than-
he's
better
a
than
little
Joe.
bit cooler than Joe Hammerstone's character.
No, I liked to have you on the set. I could tell your professionalism right away, not just you personally, but even your acting as well. And Chris didn't have to blurt out too many directions to you,
Oh, thank you.
you know. And we had a good cast, you know.
Oh,
to be
yeah.
honest. He'd have to.
Yeah.
Hopefully, we made it easy on Chris. I don't know, but it seemed like our whole cast seemed to really get together really well.
Yeah.
And it turned out looked really good on the screen too, Chris.
Yeah, no, I've never been a puppet master type director because some actors they need every movement, every line, everything spelled out for them, and that's not me. So that's why I cast a lot of the same people over and over again who get it. It's like, look, you have the script. I know what I want. We've discussed how this is going to go, but I trust you to do your job, and I trust you to inject your own thoughts and feelings and emotion into the character.
Right.
And, if it's not exactly what I want, I'm not going to say, well, that's wrong, that's terrible. I'm going to say, well, a little bit more this way, a little bit more that way.
Right.
There we go.
Yeah.
That's how I like to operate.
I like to work with other actors the way you operate with them, and you work seamlessly that way. When you work with an actor or an actress and they go to a director or somebody, so you've heard the "what's my motivation" thing.
Yeah.
You do hear that or variances of that from time to time, and it just that bothers the shit out of me.
It
Just
almost
being
seems
an
like a joke at this point.
Yeah.
What's my motivation?
yeah.
Yeah.
And some it is a joke, but there's still some people you do work with. They want to know exactly how to act. Like you're hired to do you do it, and we didn't have any of that shit.
No,
on our side.
I've encountered that before, and I'm not going to go into who it was or what it was, but it was seeing someone's tied up in a chair. And they, what's my motivation? You're tied up in a fucking chair.
Right.
It sucks
How did
to
you
be
get here?
Right.
How are you trying to get
You
out?
say to not get fired.
Right.
Okay, figure this shit out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jackie, you mentioned how you had to pull on tight budgets. You had to pull that really experienced veteran crew together. That's what we did
Yeah.
with, and you write to like Jackie in mind. Wanted Stanzi to shoot it.
Yeah.
We thought about that, and I think that's just speaks to how wise you are in the industry of knowing, hey, I can't just go out and shoot this thing willy nilly.
No.
I have to bring in this solid crew
No.
to. That's what we did, exactly what you did. So
You guys had a great crew on that too.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Really
exactly.
great crew.
I just think
If we'd have that crew, it wouldn't have been. There's no way we could have made.
there's no way we could have
Yeah.
done the short days.
Not the movie would be different.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
No, very much, because I've worked with lots of DPs, and that was the second time me and Eric worked together in that capacity. And we come from the same school of just get the shit done, just do it. Because I've been doing this for 25 years, and Eric's been doing it for 10 more than me. And it's very much. I've met so many people. We need to have this camera and this lens, and
Eric's not that guy.
I got a flashlight,
Right.
and I've got this shitty Panasonic with this
Exactly.
old ass lens, and we're gonna make it work, and we're gonna make it look good.
Yeah,
And
he
we're not-
believes much more in where the lights are put
Yeah.
than
No, but they
yeah.
came in pre-lit. I mean,
Yeah.
all that stuff, and I just think that's so wise of you to go. I'm going to go into this with acting's going to be the acting, right? The script's going to play the way it's going to play, but I need that foundation
Right.
of that, the experience of that, because I don't know how to light a room. Right?
Right,
I don't
right.
know how to do this
Right.
stuff. And I think, taking that off your plate and getting some experience to
For
do
sure.
that is extremely important. And
Yeah.
good thing you don't have to necessarily trip over that as you
No,
experience
I
all
mean,
these new things.
I've been doing this with, you know, a lot of this for about a decade now. And so I've just met a lot of people, you know, and I feel very lucky to have so many people backing me on this, which is...
Is there anything you've seen on set that now you want to go, God, I got to try that on my film?
Oh, off the top of my head. Huh.
Because you've probably seen a lot of cool shit.
Yeah, no, I have. I don't know, though. Not anything
Or
specific.
that shot or that
Well,
whatever.
let me go back to Red Knight real quick.
Sure.
Because she is an award-winning actress from Red Knight.
Ooh.
Hey, I said bring the award down, and he goes, hey, I already gave it to her.
I should've brought it. Why
I go,
didn't
you
you
ruined
bring
my
it?"
whole little stick here. or whatever.
So Chris, what did she win now? Did you tell her?
Best actress.
Well, I mean, from which festival?
From the Always Late TV Movie Awards.
That's right.
We won Best Director, Best Actress, Best Actor.
Yeah, we crushed it there.
Killing it.
Yeah.
And then in Chicago, we were nominated for a few things. We didn't get the individual wins, but our movie
What do
kicked
they
ass.
know?
Yeah,
They don't
right?
know
That's what
anything.
I'm saying. But as a producer, I was very happy.
Yeah.
No, it got best film in Chicago.
Best
so
horror
No,
feature.
it was pretty
that's
good.
right. So
So, do you get a lot of... So,
You've won a shit ton of awards.
that's what I'm saying. Do they always find their way to you? Is that how...
The physical,
Yes.
tangible awards?
Yeah. How do people handle that? Because I know your films...
I've gotten like a few of them
a few
over
of
the
them.
years.
Okay.
Yeah,
So do
most
you even
of 'em-
know when you win or don't win? Is that
Yeah,
how-
I mean, I'll get tagged and stuff on
I see,
Facebook
and then you're
when
like,
they
"Oh,
announce-
interesting."
Yeah, but most of the time, I don't get like a physical award. I mean, I have a few.
Okay.
But more often than not, and a lot of the times with the festivals, the acting awards will just be like certificates
Yeah.
as opposed to actual
an actual award. Okay.
trophies. Yeah.
are you happy with the one you got, though?
It's heavy.
It's heavy.
Yeah,
Man,
it's
they're
pretty
real.
nice.
It's a real
I know everyone says the same thing. You kill somebody
Yeah,
with this.
it's. I wasn't expecting it to
Hell
be
yeah.
that
Yeah, we
that
had-
major.
Kevin Edwards on here,
Yeah.
and he was talking about it a little bit. He goes, "Man, I wanted everything just to be so real." And I'm like, "Well, these are
Those
real.
are real.
These could really. We can do a horror movie right
Yeah.
here with this."
But that's the thing, and I suspect I know what the answer is because it's fun to win awards, right? It's fun to win, and it sucks. It sucks losing in life, so it's fun to win something. But I don't think you take it all that seriously because in the end, does it really matter?
Right.
Like I don't. Yeah, it's great to win. That's awesome, and it's
This
an
is
honor.
one person's opinion, though.
Yeah.
Or one jury's opinion.
Yeah, so you can't, like, I know some people who just hang on those awards and like everything that this award-winning filmmaker and like, man, yeah, great.
Yeah.
Is it an Academy Award?
No,
then
no.
nobody gives a
Yeah,
shit.
Oh,
It's
that's
not-
funny because I made like a miniature one for me to hang on
Sounds like you, Brock, for sure.
wherever I go.
So yeah, it's
Got a tattoo on my chest.
bet you
Award-winning actor.
well, good for you,
I
buddy.
opened up a space on my back for just tattoos.
No, it's more cool to win than to lose. But at the end of the day, it's just like anything else.
Yeah, and it's like what they say, you're never as bad as your worst review, and you're never as good as your best review. And
Yes.
there's a lot of truth to that. I mean, some of the reviews that I've read of stuff I've done over the years, oh my God, people are mean.
Yes.
Yes.
And then other people, they watch the same movie, and they're like, this is great.
Yes.
Best thing
And you're
ever.
like, how did these people watch the same movie? You're never gonna please everyone.
No.
It is physically impossible to make a film that will universally be liked. So, if you have a thin skin, don't do this shit because people will say the meanest stuff about your movies that you like poured your heart and soul into, and they'll just dismiss it as this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. What were
This
they
thing that
doing
you
here?
spent years on.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I could have done that.
Yeah, right.
I've heard that a lot.
No, you
Right.
couldn't have.
No,
Right,
you couldn't
right,
have. But
right.
Why couldn't you do it like this? Why couldn't you do this? Come on, man.
Yeah.
So,
Get
what
outta
role
here.
are you most proud of as we kind of wind down here a little bit? What role are you most like?
Oh,
you're
my
like,
God.
that was really.
Man, you
just,
gotta make her answer that?
yeah.
That's tough.
Everybody's got their thing, man.
I don't think I have one.
The
though.
hard hitting questions here on the Indie
You
Film Sucks
are. You
podcast.
are.
Let her
I
answer
don't
and
think
shut up.
I don't think I have one. I don't know. I always say that I want to go out of my comfort zone and play something totally different, but then I end up liking the characters I normally get typecast as, where I'm just like kind of a psycho. I just like playing psychos.
that made me think.
Violence.
Paul Hibbard's film,
Yeah.
Some
Yeah,
Visitors.
I'm a bitch in that movie.
How was that experience?
It was cool. It was 4 days, in and out. It was a lot of fun. I liked making that movie. And Logan Cole did effects on that, and he's one of my homies. That's where I met him, so that was cool. Yeah. I like that character. She's,
Well, that is out of your comfort zone, I'd imagine, because you don't seem like a bitch to me in real life.
no. But I just like playing, bitchy characters, I guess. That one, actually, one of the awards that we won on that one was, it wasn't even an acting award. It was, what was it called? It was Worst Person Award, and I won the Worst Person Award.
I love independent
and
film awards.
And I was really excited about that. I was like, nice, I'm the worst person.
I knew you were going to be proud of something.
I'm the worst person. That was a feather in the
you
cap.
crushed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That was a funny one.
So what do you have that's potentially coming out apart from Anxiety? What else do you have that's in the hopper?
I have a few. What do I have right now?
You have a lot.
Human should be coming out within the next. I don't know. I'm not going to say anything because I don't know. But that one's fun. I shot that in LA back in November. It's a really small movie. It all takes place over one night, and there's really just a few actors in it, and it's very Evil Dead 2-ish. Very
nice.
Kind of campy, in your face, body horror type stuff. Siphon, I play a small part in that. That's kind of an action film, but I'm teeny tiny part in that. We shot a really cool scene in a car wash. That's all I'll say. But it was one of the weirdest things I've ever shot. It was pretty cool.
Okay, hold on. So you just had to keep going through the car wash to get the
like
shots?
100 times, yeah.
Man.
There's a lot of
That's
action
awesome. No, cool.
in a car wash. It was cool. And Phantasmic, that's a short I did locally with Andy Compton, who I don't know if y'all have had Andy on your show, but Andy's a solid dude and a very talented filmmaker. We're actually shooting pickups for that film on Friday.
Oh.
And then that'll be done. So, yeah, the rest of them I can't speak for them. I don't know. I haven't been in touch with the filmmakers of
But this
Reaper
is how
Road
this
will
is
be
what I
a
was talking about how
minute,
busy
but-
you've been, and this is crazy. But like you were saying, these could have been shot a couple years ago.
Yeah,
you don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
And Reaper Road's where? Do you know?
I don't really know. I mean, it's in post production right now. We finished shooting it in what month was that? October of last year. So
that's not too far away. Yeah, that's not too far out of production.
No, I wouldn't expect it to be like done anytime soon.
And that was you and what was her name?
Joanna Fabergé.
Yes.
Yeah.
How was that experience?
It was great. Jo is a really talented actress. She's one of the nicest people I've ever met. Whenever I'm around her, I just feel like, God, I'm a terrible person. She's so much nicer than me. No, she's very talented, and it was fun to share, because it's pretty much just the two of us, that whole film. It's, there's horror elements, but a lot of it is a two-person drama. So she was a ideal actor to share that film with.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
She's very, very prepared, very professional. Yeah, she's great.
No,
Can't speak much more highly of anyone. Yeah.
So is there anything that you have not had a chance to do, film-wise, acting-wise, that you would like to do?
Like a character?
Character, a genre, anything.
I have always wanted to play a mother with Munchausen by proxy syndrome. That's kind of like my weird dream role. No one's offered it to me yet. I might have to write it. But it's a weird one, but that's something I've always wanted to play a character that leads like a late 70s punk band.
Oh.
Yeah, I wanted to like sing in a punk band in a movie. I think that'd be cool too.
I can see that.
It'd be fun. I've never done anything like that.
That would be cool.
So, yeah, we'll see.
Can you sing?
I sang when I was younger, yeah. I can't sing as well as I used to. I've smoked a lot of cigarettes since then, so my voice is kind of shot.
It's punk.
Yeah, I could sing punk just fine. But I used to sing. Yes, I was a choir girl when I was younger.
I'm somehow not surprised.
So.
Well, we've covered a lot tonight.
We have covered a lot.
Jackie Kelley, we can't thank you enough for coming and hanging out with us.
Yep.
Long overdue for sure.
It was nice meeting you in the movie and having you back here.
Yeah.
It was cool. It's fun to work with you.
Appreciate it.
We are looking forward to everything that's coming up. So check Jackie Kelley out on IMDb, see what's going on, Facebook, Instagram. Do you want to plug anything?
That's it.
That's it?
Yeah.
Anxiety's out. Get credit to Blu-ray for pre-sales.
The wickedpixel.com/store It's where you can get your Anxiety Blu-ray pre-ordered.
Yes, and probably other films.
Yes, our whole catalog.
There's a couple other things out there.
Yes.
Exactly. So,
All right.
we covered a lot tonight.
We did cover a lot. We talked about what we normally talk about,
What's
which
that,
is
Chris?
the highs,
Oh yeah.
the lows, and the in-betweens.
That's right.
Of true. What is it? True
independent
filmmaking. On the Any Film Sucks podcast, brought to you by 88mm Productions. It's out there wherever fine podcasts can be found, blah, blah, blah. Thank you very much, Jackie Kelley.
Thank you so
you.
much.
Good night, good luck.
Good night. Peace.
Indie film sucks. Indie film sucks. It's the Indie Film Sucks